Real Madrid did Kylian Mbappe no favors. Reminds me of a man who chases after a woman and then realizes in the end that it never fits. The way Mbappe is currently playing at Real Madrid, he is a shadow of his former self. He looks very unhappy, tired, and listless, almost depressed. He simply isn't performing as he could and as is expected of him. Anyone who had endlessly hoped for miraculous things from the former world champion is likely to be disappointed. What is the reason for that? In this video, we'll find out together. Stay tuned until the end, because the decisive reason for his slump comes at the end. Real Madrid had been chasing Mbappe for years. They made PSG unbelievable offers. Florentino Perez was ready to do anything to get him. He saw in him the future legend of the club, because at PSG, Kylian was so strong that in the 7 years he played there, he won the trophy for the league's top scorer 6 times in a row. He is incredibly fast, has fantastic dribbling skills, and an almost unbeatable shot. In France, Mbappe has won everything there is to win on a national level. 6 league titles, several French Cups, and League Cups. On an individual level, his records are countless. And even at his young age, he became the top scorer in PSG history with 256 goals. Everyone knows that Mbappe dreamed of playing for Real Madrid since he was a little boy, and it is well known that his biggest idol in his youth was Cristiano Ronaldo. There are photos of him as a child with posters of Cristiano all over his room, and also photos he took with him personally. Ronaldo was one of the reasons why his favorite club was Real Madrid, and as a teenager, he dreamed of joining this club. Do you think Mbappe has the chance to become as great at Real Madrid as Cristiano Ronaldo? Write it in the comments. He could have fulfilled that dream as early as 2022, when Real made PSG a generous offer of around 200 million euros, which Kylian, however, declined, even though he had made a verbal agreement with the club. The management of Real Madrid was so upset about it that they decided to close the door on Mbappe. After his spectacular and unbelievable performance at the 2022 World Cup, Real opened the door for Mbappe again, but he declined once more. The club, the players, and the fans of Real Madrid didn't want to hear anything more from him, and the possible transfer in 2023 was actually supposed to be his last chance to wear the jersey of his dreams. But contrary to expectations, Mbappe refused to extend his contract with PSG last summer and reached an agreement with his new club, Real Madrid. Mbappe's arrival at Real was supposed to mark the beginning of a new era in which he would be the successor to the legendary Cristiano Ronaldo. Florentino Perez wanted to create a Galactico 3.0 with a dream attack of Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., and Rodrygo, along with Jude Bellingham in midfield. Everyone expected that Real Madrid would roll over all their opponents and seem ready to dominate once again for the next few years. However, before his first appearance for Real Madrid, everyone asked themselves the same question. In which position is he even supposed to play? Obviously, Vinicius was on the left side, Rodrygo on the right side. As everyone knows, Kylian Mbappe plays on the left wing. When asked, Carlo Ancelotti said that he sees Mbappe in the center forward position. Mbappe had not liked playing this position at PSG at all. There, he only had to fill the position in exceptional cases. We all remember Mbappe's statement regarding his role in the French national team, where he said that he doesn't like playing as a number 9, but much prefers to be deployed on the left wing. Well, that's exactly the same problem he has now at Real Madrid. At the beginning of the season, Kylian Mbappe got off to a great start. In the European Super Cup final, Kylian Mbappe played his first official match for Real Madrid against Atalanta Bergamo, and he excelled in a remarkable way. He scored his first goal and the winning goal with which he won his first trophy as a Real Madrid player. 10 goals and 2 assists in 20 games for the Madrid team is not a bad haul, but many had expected more from one of the greatest stars in world football. Dismissing the Mbappe transfer as a mistake already would be the wrong approach. Of course, more is expected of him than of other players. After all, he is Kylian Mbappe, who is usually among the best players on this planet. Of course, you can understand the people who are now putting him on the spot. He is not currently playing like one of the best players in the world, but rather like an average striker. But in Madrid, other stars have already needed a certain adjustment period. Even with Zinedine Zidane, David Beckham, Luka Modric, or even Cristiano Ronaldo, not everything worked from day one. That's why I think it's just a matter of time for Mbappe as well. There are also critical voices accusing the Frenchman of lacking bite and leadership qualities. If you look at Mbappe's performances so far, that's true. He doesn't play like a leader, especially not in difficult situations. Mbappe's problem is that he was so good in the past and set the bar so high that Real Madrid fans expected Mbappe to play effectively and score in every game immediately, as he did at PSG and with the French national team. In addition, there are the rather unusual performances of Real Madrid in the Champions League. As defending champions, they are surprisingly only in 20th place, so it is clear that there is a problem somewhere. Now, everyone would like to understand, why does Mbappe have such difficulties at Real Madrid? Before I address Mbappe's biggest problem at Real Madrid, I want to point out that the loss of Toni Kroos has greatly affected the team's performance. Real has lost everything that Toni Kroos brought to the team, and everyone knows it. Kroos was a pace setter in midfield who could dictate the tempo of the game with exceptional precision. His ability to play long balls with such precision was a rarity in modern football and made him a unique player. Players like Mbappe lack this talent. After all, Kroos had more ball contacts than any other player in Madrid last season and played more passes into the opponent's defense than any other player in the top 5 leagues. Tony's ability to convert ball possession into an attack was really very important. Currently, Aurélien Tchouaméni, with all his qualities and what he can do, is not a player of the caliber of Toni Kroos. Eduardo Camavinga is not either, nor is Jude Bellingham or Federico Valverde. Luka Modric, too, at 39 years old, is no longer at the level that made his legend. He is approaching retirement, and this season could be his last at Real Madrid, if not even in his career. Real Madrid is therefore missing someone who acts like a conductor, deciding when to play with a numerical advantage and when to completely change direction, but also controlling the pace of the game. He plays the simple pass when necessary and makes sure not to rush into situations that could endanger the team's defense. Kroos did all this with such technical precision that the Madrilenians felt secure in building their game. One knew that he wouldn't give away the ball and that he would play forward at the perfect moment. Real has not only lost that security, they now also have a much more offensive team. Although Bellingham theoretically plays in midfield this season, in truth, he always wants to be up front. Through the combination of all these elements, it is almost certain that opposing teams will pose challenges to Real Madrid, be it through quick counterattacks with the offensively strong players or through consistently exploiting weaknesses in the build-up play. Now we come to Mbappe's biggest problem this season, namely his right to determination is gone. At Real Madrid, Mbappe no longer has the same assertiveness he had at PSG. There, everything revolved around him. He decided almost everything, even where he wanted to play and with whom he wanted to play. The team was built around him. In Madrid, it's a whole different story. No one is more important than the club. Furthermore, Vinicius has already established himself on the left side, Mbappe's favorite position. That's why Mbappe now has to find his way into a position he doesn't like and where he can't showcase his true potential. The position as a striker. Mbappe has always been a player who needs a lot of space, but this style doesn't necessarily fit the role of a pure number 9, especially not in a team like Real Madrid. He has always shown on the left side where he could use his speed to outmaneuver defenders and make a difference in one-on-one duels. The problem, however, is that this role at Real has already been assigned to Vinicius, and with his performances in the previous seasons, and especially in the last season, it is very unlikely that he would make way for Mbappe. Vinicius Jr. has become an indispensable player in the Real Madrid team. That means Mbappe has to adapt to a central position and thus his playing style. A good number 9 must not only score goals, but also be able to organize the game around him. Let's take Benzema, for example. His role went far beyond just finishing actions. He could break away, hold the ball with his back to the goal, and also create chances for his teammates. Mbappe, on the other hand, is more accustomed to receiving balls in space rather than holding them under pressure. He doesn't like playing with his back to the goal, and this lack of adaptability can become a real problem in a team. Furthermore, Mbappe does not physically fit the profile of a classic number 9. He does not have the stature of a player like Erling Haaland or Robert Lewandowski, who can physically match the strongest center backs. After everything we've seen in this video so far, do you really think we should blame Mbappe for everything? Of course, it's not like that. It's crazy to see how much Mbappe is already being criticized, even though he's only been here for 4 months. Sometimes it is forgotten that although he is considered one of the best players in the world, he is still a young player who has to adapt to a new environment. So far, his entire career has been built in France, a league he knew well, just like his opponents and the demands of the league. He had his comfort zone, which allowed him to stand out particularly. In Spain, it's a whole different world for him. La Liga imposes far more complex demands. The defenders are tougher, the tactics more refined, and the pressure on a Real Madrid player is unparalleled. Mbappe not only has to adapt to a new league, but also to a different style of play and teammates who have their own clearly defined roles. These adjustments take time, and it is clear that he needs that time to find his footing. It is a huge adjustment, and it is unrealistic to expect him to reach his highest level so quickly. We've reached the end of the video, and I would be very interested to know what you think. Was it a mistake for Mbappe to move from Paris Saint-Germain to Real Madrid? He had a lot of power at PSG. He felt like the sporting director could have a say in transfers. Should he rather stay in Paris, or will he develop into a key player and perhaps even one of the best Real Madrid players of all time in the near future? Let me know in the comments. If you want to see more epic stories about football, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. See you next time on Total Football Network.